Well, hello there, my famous little jellyfish, and welcome back to another show where Josh talks to himself because, hey, there's news! So, it turns out that recently, Saban Entertainment, the people in charge of making the Power Rangers TV show, they acquired, or rather trademarked, the title for their new upcoming Power Ranger series called, wait for it, Power Rangers Ninja Steel. Or they just basically trademarked Ninja Steel. This can be found on J-Fusion. This can be found on Morphin Legacy. This can be found on a lot of different other websites because it's been literally the only news that has been reported recently. I found the news first on Henshin Justice because it was on my Facebook feed. And then I began looking at it, and it turns out that yes, we will be skipping ToQGer. Alright, a couple of weird things about this. Look, I'm not the biggest fan of ToQGer. Not at all. I never really enjoyed the concept of trains. Well, that's a lie. I enjoyed trains when they were in Lightspeed Rescue, right? So I enjoyed the train Megazord. But to use them the way ToQger did, in a way that's really meant for younger kids, it wasn't a jive that I was feeling exactly. I was put off more from the show when I began watching it. And I did try to watch at least like 10 to 15 episodes. I think I got to around episode 14 and never really enjoyed it. But I did give ToQger my fair shot. And, some concepts I was okay with later on when they introduced the orange ToQger, ToQ6, I believe, or whatever. Like, he was cool. He was a construction worker or something. Like, I enjoyed his concept. I enjoyed, not the Megazords. Didn't enjoy the Megazords as much. Didn't enjoy the Conductor as much. The big booty robot. She got something going on the badonkadonk, if you know what I'm saying. But I think overall, the ToQger package just wasn't for me. And maybe it wasn't there for a lot of other people. And maybe Saban couldn't really market it as well as they could have, because ToQger was a very happy show. It was a very happy-go-lucky, imagination is ruler all, very childish show in comparison to a lot of other themes that they could have gone with. And I believe that that's what Saban was thinking about. Saban wanted to be more action-packed and less silly. That's why they went with ToQger straight away instead of going and trying to do something with Go Buster. Maybe also because Go Buster was really weird in the context of there was a lot more fighting and weird stuff than trope Super Sentai stuff. But, I don't know. A lot of people didn't like Go Buster because it was a really weird deviation from other Super Sentai shows. And I could see that happening because you had to follow up ToQGer, right? You had to follow up a really good show like ToQGer, who had to follow up the Angels. Look, I didn't write Go Sager. Go Buster had to follow up a really cool show, a really fun show, which was the anniversary show. Of course it was supposed to be good. ToQGer, who in turn followed up Go Sager, which wasn't that great of a show. So you could see how, Go Buster couldn't really live up to the hype. And ToQger was pretty good. It was pretty fun. I enjoyed a lot of the characters. The morphing was good. The suits were fun, as I've said before. And then when they followed up with ToQger, I guess I personally didn't accept it as much. So I can see why Saban would like to skip again, because they're trying to catch up with Super Sentai, which I don't know if it's the best thing to do. But also they're trying to take off like the stuff that doesn't really make sense to bring over to America. Making fun of their own things like Morphin Time or having imaginary train sets. I guess they didn't really feel that. I can understand it. From a marketing standpoint, I can see why Saban would try to ignore ToQger, because it's just weird, man. It's just like these six Rangers, or initially the 5 Rangers, who were all like childhood friends, who all get stuck on this like imaginary train liner, and they're all just trying to save imagination for like the citizens of the world. Hey man, noble cause, but maybe it doesn't translate as well in American audiences. American audiences seem to be more desensitized nowadays, so I don't know. But hey, if they can make Ninja Steel work and Ninja work, hey, I got no problem with it. Ninja seemed fun at the very start. I enjoyed the gold member the best because he's supposed to be some American Japanese guy who learned English in Texas, so that's why he's like a cowboy. But he also became like a cowboy ranger, and he has like a poncho and stuff. I enjoy Star Ninja, man. I enjoy Star Ninja. I wanted to make a video about him, but then that didn't really go into fruition. But I mean, he's pretty fun. So I can see why they can try doing something with that. Hey man, whatever. Let's see what happens, you know. Some of the bigger concerns that I've seen people talk about in the forums and such is this is going to be another trademark labeling confusion thing with how Power Rangers Ninja Steel is going to be confused with Power Rangers Ninja Storm. You know, their PRNS is the same acronym for both series. So we're going to have not only another similarly trademarked series, but we're also going to have another ninja themed Power Rangers series, skipping something like a train or a secret agent type thing. I mean, again, the ideas are for Go Buster, while being a little bit better than ToQGer, they're both pretty far-fetched. So maybe Saban was like, you know what, ninjas, we can work with ninjas. We've done it before. I can play devil's advocate for Saban all I want, but I mean, at the end of the day, they are in charge of the Power Ranger line. And if they're gonna keep milking that whole, like, it's morphin' time, which, by the way, the Kyoryu Gold, who in the Super Sentai series for Kyoryuger is supposed to be like some old, like, Japanese samurai or whatever. I like how in Dino Charge, he's basically just like this knight. And I really like what they did with him because I like him being like, "'Tis morphin' time!" Like, it's a really cool thing. I like that. I like what they did with him. Instead of him being the samurai-influenced character, he's actually some knight, which, you know, it translates better to a Western audience, and I think that works. So, we will definitely see what they do with Ninja Steel, and, you know, we will definitely see. This is just a trademark, though, so they could... No, I mean, they're on their steps to finalize the trademark Ninja Steel. So in probably 2017, we will be getting a Power Rangers Ninja Steel. As for ToQGer, them going back to it, if you guys really like ToQGer, man, I mean, I guess they won't be hitting your series. And, you know, sorry if you're upset about that. Personally, I'm not really affected at all. I'm still going to be watching highlights whenever they're posted on YouTube. I'm still going to be looking up news if anything is ever newsworthy. But, hey, we're going to be getting Power Rangers Ninja Steel. We're going to see how the morphing looks. We're going to see how the Megazords look. Personally, the only thing I'm interested in Power Rangers is how they handle morphing. I don't watch the series enough anymore, but it's always a tradition for me to, whenever a new Power Ranger comes out, I gotta look at the way they morph, because that has always been the best part of Power Rangers and Super Sentai for me. So if they can do morphing properly, hey man, I'm satisfied with the series. I know that's pretty shallow, but that's how I treat the series. The only value I find from watching a Power Ranger or Super Sentai series nowadays is morphing. And I'm not on the Kamen Rider hype train anymore. Ghost is okay if you guys wanted my opinion for some reason. Maybe I can talk about Ghost later, but you know, Ghost is fine. But hey, Power Rangers Ninja Steel coming out in 2017. PRNS, maybe. Let's have a good time, Saban. Why don't you guys release a video game properly? We would eat that stuff up. I mean, Chroma Squad worked, and people enjoy Chroma Squad, so why can't you, I don't know, make a Power Rangers game? You goddamn dicks. I'm sorry. Anyway, buy Chroma Squad. It's a pretty cool game. It's like Fire Emblem, except Power Rangers, which I think is probably why I enjoy it. Anyway, Fire Emblem Fates. I don't know if I'm gonna get it, so hey, if you got it, tell me if it's good. But anyway, peace. Josh is out, my little jellyfish. I'll see you the next time some other controversial news happens on the Power Rangers / Tokusatsu world. Peace!